Hi, this is Jeff Mesnick. I'm here with the Channel Marketing Journal, and I'm excited to be here talking with Timm Hoyt from Druva. He's the Vice President of Global Partners and Alliances. So, Tim, I was wondering if you could kind of explain a little bit of what Druva does, as well as what your role is in Druva. As you know, many people have similar titles, but their jobs are what they make of it. So,
That's right. Well, I appreciate the time, Jeff. And so Druva is a company that's helping customers modernize their protection and governance of data, right? So we believe that the second most critical asset of any corporation is their data. The first is their employees.
mhm.
So data protection is not new in this landscape, but what Druva is doing is providing a SaaS-based, cloud-native portfolio that helps customers protect and govern the data that sits anywhere on any device or data center or cloud application across the enterprise. We find that this is a great opportunity for partners to modernize their own services and capabilities.
Mhm.
And we're thrilled to have a chance to share a little bit about what we're doing and also some unique experiences of channels in this space.
Great. And your role as vice president, what would you say is kind of the main things that you're responsible for in this?
Sure. So our team builds and scales partnerships ranging from regional resellers and VARs to global integrators, as well as working with technology strategic partners like AWS and VMware. And ultimately, there's two elements of our mission statement. First is how do we provide a rich ecosystem for our end users of capable and competent solution providers that are helping those customers, transform and move in their journey for cloud adaptation.
Mhm.
And second is working with our partners, right? Identifying and working with those partners to understand their competencies, what are their customers' needs uniquely, and ultimately what are the business objectives of the partner, and how does Druva help to address that partner's objectives to scale and grow.
Great. So I'm sure over the time you've, probably launched a number of different types of initiatives, whether it may be a training initiative or a marketing initiative. You know, is there something that you're particularly kind of proud of that you've launched recently that, how, overcame some hurdles to get it going that you'd like to share with us a little bit?
Yeah, I think as channel chiefs and leaders of partner sales organizations, we're all challenged with how do you stand out,
Yeah.
and how do you help partners understand the unique value that they can articulate confidently and accurately to their customers and prospects amongst all the things that they're trying to represent as a solutions provider and a trusted advisor. And so one of the programs I think that kind of makes me smile a little bit, and one of the reasons why I enjoy working at Druva in the space we're in, is the ability to be creative. So we were having a conversation with one of our large national resellers and one of the sales executive leaders there about what we do. And she made a comment saying, wow, you guys are like Tesla, right? You guys are taking what is a traditional industry and modernizing that and making it simpler and more enjoyable for the user.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we think we do in some sense. I never really kind of thought of it that way. And so as we were talking about how we enable her sales organization, enable her, the pre-sales engineers, and do it in a way that helps stand out and ultimately drive success for the customer. No pun intended on drive. We
Yeah.
talked about a program that was orientated around enablement. It was orientated around ideal customer fit and ultimately, success in bookings for them and their in turn us. And what we did is we created a program where we provided access for an incentive to those sellers and SE community for earning their own Model S or Model X Teslas. So
Right.
it was a bit of an audacious goal, but connecting the dots of what she thought kind of our narrative was in that storyline, right? We're all storytellers in some sense.
Yep.
This is a program that we launched and had some fun with.
That's great. So I actually like the SE angle. I've heard this one a few times, but one guy basically said, we wanted to get the people in the hallway to listen in on conversations who are the SEs and basically say, you know what, if you're really thinking about doing this, you should start thinking about our company. That sounds similar to kind of the premise of what you're looking to do. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the reality is any good salesperson is going to admit to you, right, that their best wing person, their best asset is their SE. Right?
Right.
Customers are absolutely going to trust the sales and account managers for a variety of reasons. But the SEs, I think, are the secret sauce of any company, in particular our solution provider reselling partners around that unique value they can bring to the customer, because ultimately they're the ones that have vetted multiple different solutions in a similar category and understand that customer and can provide that trusted advisor recommendation. And typically from a vendor to a partner, I think relationship, the SEs are often overlooked in terms of how do you incentivize, how do you, reward them for being creative and partnering.
Right. So is this when you do the training of the SEs? Is this a lot of on-prem time for you guys, where you're actually at the sites, or is there an online scalable solution that you use as well, or both?
So it's a combination. I
Yeah.
mean, I think you can't remove the human to human element, but we all know how busy everybody's days are. We all understand that on-demand learning, right? Whether you are in traffic, on a plane, train, or sitting at home at the couch, is really important and helpful. So
Hmm.
we try and have a mixture of both, right?
Yep.
So providing the SE and our partners the ability to learn at their own time zone or pace, and also providing right our expertise and subject matter experts to be with them, either on sales calls, learn by doing, right, or in a boardroom doing some whiteboarding kind of scenario planning.
And as you kind of think through this and have been putting these programs together and really focusing in on the SEs, um, what are some of the hurdles that other companies who might think about this might face?
So I think one of the challenges we have, generally, and certainly what we have here at Druva, is a couple fold. One is how you get above that noise, right? And there's a lot of things that are occupying the time and the mind of our SEs and our partners in general. So making it very clear, even though we like to think our solutions are super relevant, and sometimes we make them more complex than they need to be. It's really boiling it down to the salient customer value. What customer type are you really good at versus saying I can hit every customer need, right? Being honest about that
Hmm.
is really critical. And I think also from our side, just like that, that program I mentioned, the creativity side is, really, understanding that a business objective of the partner, what's the culture like, and then how are you going to, whether it's an incentive, an enablement plan, that daily kind of alignment is build your cadence and your interaction with them in accordance to how they want to operate, not only how you as a vendor want to operate.
So, do you also have a number of smaller partners that may not have a full SE staff? And does this program scale for them as well?
So most of the partners we work with, Jeff, do have some technical competency. I mean, that ultimately is one of the core values they bring to their customer base.
Okay.
Those partners, will have a varying, understanding of our specific solution set and the Druva elements.
Hmm.
We provide, certainly not only we think the enablement elements to help them, get smarter, to teach a man to fish, will fish for life, but also provide great access to our subject matter experts, to our product teams as well, for involvement in learnings and certainly in customer campaigns.
Excellent. I like this. I mean, it's really, there's a lot of focus, and I'm putting together an article about kind of what 2019 should bring, right? And I've more companies in the security space, data protection space seem to really be focusing in on this idea of improving education first. Seems like that's the path you guys are going down. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're, we're trying, the ultimate value of a channel to a vendor
Yep.
is scale,
Yep.
right? And if we're not helping our partners understand elements of what we know of what are great customer types, what are the unique triggers that provide unique value, what are differentiation points that help us versus maybe a competitor, an alternative,
Hmm.
we're doing a disservice to our partner, right? And they're going to be frustrated if they don't have transparency and authenticity about where we're good and great and where not to go.
Right.
And if that doesn't happen, you lose trust, you lose credibility, and ultimately customers lose, right?
Right.
Which is the worst case. And then everybody along the supply chain in that sense loses. So we're really, a lot of other vendors are. I think you're right. Particularly as a lot of workloads, traditional workloads are being disrupted around public cloud.
Hmm.
Is helping partners both at the macro partner level and then the individual level understand how they can possibly take core competencies they've built over a decade plus and pivot that into a more modern deployment mechanism versus
Yep.
trying to learn something totally new. And so those are some of the dots we're personally trying to connect for our partners. But without a doubt, right, the key challenge that I think channel chiefs and indirect vendor organizations have had and will always continue to have is the appropriate level of enablement.
Cool. Well, so what I'd like to do is pivot from that and ask my favorite question, which is, what have you seen in the industry that you take a look and there's these other channel executives and you're just literally shaking your head like, oh, I can't believe they're doing that. And it doesn't have to be that as a pet peeve. Maybe it's something at
Mm-hmm.
home or whatever you feel comfortable sharing. But let's talk about a pet peeve.
Sure. Well, I'll give you one small personal pet peeve, and I'll then maybe expand a bit more. That's
Yeah.
more of the side. Personal pet peeve is when someone responds to a question beginning with the word honestly, right? Honestly, dot dot dot. Does that mean every other time that they didn't qualify honestly that I have to question the legitimacy of that? So
Right.
that's, I guess, a small pet peeve. Um, but on the business side, I think one of the things that has me shake my head sometimes, but more so, I think I've got some pride in what our team and how we speak with partners is. This isn't a transactional only business, right?
Right.
And listening to some partner leaders and work with their solution partners, primarily on transactional, give me to get is difficult for us to, I think, swallow in how we want to interface and work with our partners, right?
Right.
As I think, as you mentioned in one of your articles of the 15 channel tips in 2018, there's a lot of that in there, right? The ultimate story is the business of what we do is about the business and
Right.
understanding our partners competencies, needs. There is a massive disruption happening across all sectors of IT, with the greatest, I think, swell of that wave being the public cloud.
Right.
And many, I think, of the traditional partners that are in all of our ecosystems are in some ways struggling with how they adapt and pivot. And so, one of the things that we're doing that I think is different and maybe is a pet peeve of what I have against other, maybe folks is not understanding and helping to look at, the next 5 to 10 years of your partner, and without being unrealistic, but saying these are ways I can help you not only, survive, but thrive, right? As the market is moving around them and provide them with, color and context that is maybe more macro than just the unique solution, and help them with some business modeling of where we can they can start to see a predictable future on what we're doing and making money in the cloud, which is one of the probably the greatest false statements that there isn't money to be made in the cloud by
Right.
solution providers and VARs. There is. It's just different in how they worked with traditional technologies on prem, and so that's one of the things that rather than being a pet peeve in a sense that we pride ourselves on with our partners, is trying to really understand that business side and be that partner with them, not just it's only a transaction business.
Right. Well, look, at the end of the day, these partners, as we heard it from when I was at Ingram Cloud Summit, a lot of people said it's cloud or die. So we've got to help them get there and help them move along, and that's going to be successful for everybody.
Yeah, all boats rise with the tide. So
That's
we're
right.
just trying to make sure the boats get run ashore in that sense.
Well, I really appreciate the time. Honestly, this was a great conversation.
Jeff, I appreciate it as well. Like what you're doing and keep it up.
Thank you very much. Well, this has been Jeff Mesnick with the Channel Marketing Journal. Again, I was here with Timm Hoyt from Druva. Thank you, Tim.
You bet. Cheers.
All right.